People like to think that titling YouTube videos is really hard and you have to put so much time and effort into it. It has to be a perfect title. When in reality, a YouTube title has to be two things. Number one, it does have to be interesting. It does have to capture attention. But number two, and this is arguably the most important, it has to be searchable. So let's start with the easy one. For a YouTube title to be searchable, it has to be able to have SEO in it. Now, if you're not familiar with what SEO is, search engine optimization is, in short, it is when an AI program will take keywords out of a particular phrase or paragraph and take that keyword, analyze it, and say, okay, I now know who to give this piece of content to. And if you want more information on this, I do have a video on it. I will link it down below. So that's number one. If you have a keyword that is most commonly associated with the topic that you're talking about or showing or what have you on a video, and it doesn't have to be just YouTube videos. That's my SEO. I put YouTube in this title because I knew that YouTube would take that and say, oh, I know who to give this to, and I would get more views because of that. At least that would be the idea. But this works for any title. This could be Facebook titles for videos. This could be for Vimeo or whatever other video sharing platform there is that requires a title. So that's the easy one, using SEO, using keywords, and it then becomes searchable and is able to be recommended to other people. And the importance of it being searchable is because, number one, that will help people to remember, is if they take the keyword, say YouTube, they're like, oh, it was that video about YouTube and I wanted to know how to title a YouTube video. It's easy enough to remember, and they can look up the words, they can take their keyboard and be like, how to title a YouTube video. And there will be lots of search results based on those words. How do we make a title interesting? Well, there are lots of different philosophies on this. The first one is, if you're teaching something, please just put whatever it is that you're teaching. I know it seems kind of boring and uninteresting, but that's when a thumbnail really comes into it. All right, and I'm not going to talk about how to make a thumbnail in this video, but do understand that a title and a thumbnail come together to form one item that helps the viewer to understand if they want to watch it and make that decision. But if you're teaching, please just put what it is. People do like to know what they're getting into. Now, if you're some kind of a vlogger, then if you were to put, say, the most interesting or controversial part of the video into the title, that captures attention. Another way that you can also title to capture attention is by being incredibly vague and making them wonder, what is going on here? And they'll click on it and they'll find out. Now, my only suggestion with that one is don't keep them waiting too long, because they will get bored because they clicked on the video for one reason. And if they don't get that reason fairly quickly or hint at what that reason is, they're going to leave. So there are a few suggestions on making it interesting. Now, also with that, of course, as I just mentioned, is the thumbnail. And that's part of also how you'll make it interesting, by adding more words, like a second title, for instance, or adding questions, or adding more text that raises awareness for what the topic is, and possibly even answers the question if you have a question in your title. Things like that. So, as you can see, this isn't the most difficult concept to understand, which is what people really like to make it out to be. I do not understand why. But in practice, yeah, it can be a lot harder. I think the SEO portion of it is easier, just because it's a lot easier to understand keywords that come into it than trying to be like, all right, what does my audience want to see in a title? And that's something that you also have to be aware of, is that different audience groups for different people, different creators and channels, even if you have 3 channels, even if they're the exact same subject, they're going to be different. That is how you at least get started titling a YouTube video. The specifics are entirely up to you and how you want to approach it. And it's about knowing yourself, your branding, as well as your audience. So I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching. And I want to know, what was the best video that you've ever seen? It could be a meme. It doesn't have to be a YouTube video. It could be from Reddit. Could be from Instagram, TikTok, whatever. What was the best video that you've ever seen? Put it down in the comments. Again, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.